Target's decision to remove its mandatory retirement age got us thinking about stereotypes associated with aging on the job. So we're bringing in psychology expert Blanca Cobb to explain this topic.
Blanca, what's the history behind this age requirement for retirement anyway?
Well, what happens is it disrupts what is considered old. It's arbitrary. Age is arbitrary. When you think about, or when people think about older people, what do they think? They think confusion, memory problems, the hunchback and the weakness. I mean, that is so outdated, that type of thinking about older people. And what the saying is, dropping this retirement age, is that experience and results are more important than age. And that really says a lot.
So, Blanca, surely people have to retire at some point in their lives.
You hope you get to anyway.
You hope you get to it. Some people, I guess, they can't. But if age is eliminated for retirement, how should people decide if they're ready for retirement?
That's a great question. And it's really about reflection. What is important to you? Do you still want to work? And why do you still want to work? Think about the type of job that you're doing and whether you are physically able to continue in that same type of job, or is it cognitively too demanding? Which means you could transition into something else. It doesn't mean that you have to stop working. Maybe you decide that you want to work part-time, or you want to go into another field or an allied field or something, but you just really have to think about your strengths, your weaknesses, and your desire to work, and make that decision from there.
Hey Blanca, a lot of us are at the point in life where we have parents who are starting to think about retirement. How can we be there for them through that process? I know it's got to be tough on them.
Well, it can be, because if you think about it, then you go from independence to perhaps more dependence. And that can be difficult for anyone who is used to paying their own bills and making their own decisions and doing as they want when they want. So when it comes to parents, it's really supporting them. And that makes it easy if they're making what an adult child would consider the right choice. It's when parents start going in a direction where you're thinking, for example, if they're a pilot and they're pushing 70 or 75 and you're going, I'm not sure if my parent should continue to be a pilot. Those are the types of conversations you want to have with them. But whatever conversation you do have, you want to make sure that you're gentle and you're delicate, and you're still coming from a place of respect, because you're the child, even though the adult child, and talk to them and say, hey, this is what I'm noticing. What are you noticing? And really find out what is motivating them to continue to work and not decide to retire. Because what happens is, if you just listen enough and ask the right questions, you'll be surprised at what they can reveal. And then that will just create an idea for you where you can say, hey, mom or dad, I hear what you're saying. You want to do X, Y, or Z, but it really makes me think that perhaps you should pick either 1, 2, or 3.
That's a great way to do it with parents too. And throwing a yes ma'am or a yes sir along with it too.
Exactly. Want to make sure we show that respect.
What about those parents that just want to work because they're bored and they don't want to be at home?
Oh, that's a great one. Well, there are other ways that they can be cognitively stimulated and travel where it doesn't require them to work. And that's just where finding out what your parents' interests are and what ultimately is going to make them happy, where you can say, hey, have you considered doing this, this, or this? And I think, and you have to draw the connection though. Sometimes it's not as obvious. What may be obvious to you may not be obvious to your parents, and say, hey, it still is going to highlight what you'd like to do, but it's getting that fun or that excitement in a different way.
And I think what you hit on there, whatever makes you happy is what you should do. If you want to work longer, work longer. If you want to retire early and you can, please do it.
Yeah, just make sure you're doing it healthy. Well, you can continue the conversation with Blanca on her Facebook page, Blanca Cobb, Body Language Expert.